The scenario is going to be Destruction. It is a 2015 Steamroller scenario. It includes Kill Box. You need 5 points to win. You get 1 point for controlling the zone, 2 points for dominating. You can't do either of those though until you destroy the enemy objective, and doing so will give you 1 control point. You can't do any of the scoring though until the second player's second turn. Hey there guys, this is Malorian, and this will be another War Machine Wednesday. And this time, on the left, we're going to have some Skorne ran by Christian, and he'll be up against Michael on the right running Butcher3. Now, these two know each other well. They're in the same club here called Murder's Row that's really trying to bring up the competitiveness of the Edmonton area here in Alberta. So, and I guess between them, normally it's Michael's Butcher2 that's always running him over at Doom Reavers. And so he promised, all right, no Doom Reaver spam this time. And so instead he brings Butcher3. So either way, on the other side is going to be Mordikaar. So that's what Christian is going to be dropping here. The scenario has already been covered, Destruction here, but it's going to be an interesting list. Michael is trying out a new variant of his list here that is running 3 heavies. I mean, normally you see this with either just a Conquest or 1 Jack that's very focus efficient. And this one here is actually going to have 2 Juggernauts and a Spriggan. And I've heard some talk about this. The whole idea is that you're supposed to be trying to draw out the heavy hitters first and then try and come back. And I mean, on the Skorne side, for heavies, it's just Tiberian. So right now, the Khador player wanted to go first, and so the Skorne player decided to go this side of the hill. Over here, he's going to be running his heavies at the top there with the Butcher and all the good stuff. His Widowmakers will be up there with Epic Iris. All the Pikemen are going to be at the bottom. Meanwhile, at the top, Butcher3 is going to have his good old Madame Carbo. Now on the left side, top to bottom, I mean, there's Midwinter, those are actually Keltari. He has a very beautifully painted army, but he forgot them at home. So those silver models will be Keltari. He has the Annihilators at the bottom. He has the Blood Runners up front. He has 2 Drakes. He has a Tyrant. He has... I mean, you guys see the list as it came down, but really this list here will be pretty interesting because of how he's going to have to be so careful with those 3 heavies. So either way, we have the Skorne player going first, and the Pikemen are going to be running up here. They got the UA, and this is the version where they get the higher armor. Now, unfortunately, the Master Tormentor is there, and he doesn't care how high your armor is. So there'll be some interesting placement there. By the way, the objectives for the right player is going to be fuel, and for the left side, it'll be Effigy of Valor, I believe it is. Yeah, it's fuel. I'm pretty sure it's Effigy of Valor. Anyway, so yeah, he's going up here on the left side. I mean, clearly the Jacks are going up heavy on the top because they want to get that fuel and get the free charge and runs. He also has Ragman there, which will make them hit really hard. That almost seemed like overkill to have Ragman there. But he also has his Cooldown Lords and all that stuff coming up. And I believe here he casts a little bit of Energizer, get things up a little bit further up. But that's really all he really casts. Meanwhile, now going up back here to the Skorne side, the Blood Runner is going to get right up there. The one that ran right up to his face there seemed a little bit too far, but that's where you want to place him to block things. The Master Tormentor going down to the bottom, Annihilator's coming up. He has his Tiberian up on the hill. The Keltari are going to be going up the top there. I mean, with their Blade Shield in the forest, they're really high defense. I can't remember what it is, but it's something like 19 or something crazy. So they'll be pretty hard to hit, even from the Widowmakers. So one thing that's going to be happening here is he is going to be going through and using the model to do a spray through him. And I forgot that Mordikaar can do that. You know, I just don't see Mordikaar that much, or I don't anyway. So he's going to be doing a spray, and that's going to be killing a good number of these pikemen off from the start. So that's really going to help the attrition on the bottom here. But unfortunately, he still has to deal with the top. But hey, maybe the idea is to stall the top, deal with the bottom, and then try and deliver those Annihilators there to try and do a bigger hit. But after all the Pain Givers come up and whip off Fury and all that fun stuff, we're back to Khador, turn 2. And it's really going to be starting here with Epic Iris shooting off Hollow. I mean, hollow is something you always want to have up there for Mordikaar, but it's shut off right away. The Spriggan is going to be pointing down so that one of the Blood Riders can be seen. And then do another shot here that's going to scatter and I believe kill one model, but that's really it. Always seems wrong that Spriggans are shooting. You know, they're going to melee jack there. Otherwise, the Cold Enlarge in the back can be putting some clouds there on the jacks. And what he's really trying to do is totally block line of sight there. He's going to be making a little bunker for himself to make sure Butcher3 is nice and safe behind. Meanwhile, he had his Widowmakers at the top shoot down a couple of the Keltari, especially the ones outside the woods. A little bit of misplacement there where he, you know, the ones in the back were in the woods because you kind of don't think that they need to be, but those Widowmakers have a good range. So otherwise here, he is going to be going with Butcher and doing Energizer for 1 first because he had to kind of fix where his jacks were. And then also that he's going to be doing a charge run. It's an interesting thing when you're a unit because then you have the dogs run and then you have the caster who made spells actually just charge. So he charges one of his own jacks, gets behind there. And of course that's always the way, right? You throw up those dogs out there so you can get vengeance and all that mean stuff. The Ogren's in the way and for the most part that's going to be it. I really thought, actually, that those pikemen were going to be charging in there and doing a lot more work, but it didn't really do much. So anyway, we're coming back here to Skorne turn 2, so this is where we can start scoring and fun stuff like that. And he's going to be coming in here with his Blood Runners. A little bit of discussion there about, you know, terror tests and when do you take the test and all that stuff. And remember, for terror tests, you move the entire unit first, then you take the test. But this is where these Blood Runners are going to do their really cool thing, where they have that shadow play. So whenever they kill a model, then another one gets to teleport to another one within an inch, and you can kind of like teleport them in like that. So it's kind of cool. Otherwise, he is going to be shooting with the Drake and spraying. He has 2 Drakes in his list. And the Drake there is going to be killing the 1 Argus. So already, he didn't really mean to. Personally, I think it's usually better just to get in there and just do it. Just kill both dogs if you can. But he did kind of kill by mistake when he didn't want to, so it's gone now. Also killed a few more pikemen who popped their mini feet last time. Otherwise, in the top, his Keltari going to be going in and charging mainly at the objective, trying to destroy that and get some points, and also just get in the way, right? Just models in the way of all these heavies coming in. So they do a little bit of points of damage, nothing super serious. The second Drake is going to come in here and spray across the other Argus and also into the pikemen. He's also trying to deal and hit that Ragman as well, but he has that whole sack pawn thing, so he just takes off that one. He is able to kill off the Argus here, though, so both of Butcher3's dogs are both dead. Tiberian just getting into the zone, putting up his bump Animus. Orin Midwinter is going to come up here now, and he's going to be casting his null magic. And after things move up, this is where he realizes, oh crap, now I can't cast spells. And some of those things you have to be really careful with here, where if you want to have Orin Midwinter, he's a great piece to have, especially against Epic Butcher, but you have to activate him last. So a little bit of a mistake here. He's going to have to be careful to get within kill box, and hopefully not too close within Butcher. But again, having that null magic, as long as you can keep Orin Midwinter alive, is pretty good. So otherwise, Annihilator is getting the zone, and now we're over to Khador, turn 3. And also, I should say that Mordikaar popped his feet. So that's a +3 defense, and also poker dice, or whatever it's called there. It's where if you miss them, you get pushed back. So he's going to be doing his vengeance moves here, and he really moves it to move away. I was kind of surprised how Butcher was moving away from everything. The one model that was kind of engaging the Keltari, that was engaging all of his Widowmakers, he seduces with Carbo to back off, so it's kind of a cool move. I always like the jank stuff. And otherwise, you know, some of the stuff is going to start taking a while. You know, the defense here is actually really high, but the Bokor managed to hit one of them. Of course, hitting with the shield first, missing, being pushed back, then doing the spear. And now the Cold Lords are going to be doing their sprays. And, you know, this kind of takes some time, right, to try and do all these. And you get some really far pushbacks from this, because after you're all done, all those misses get pushed you back here. So more rolls here. He's needing 9s to hit, and he actually hit all 3 9s. Now, luckily, that was mitigated because the Skorne player rolled 2 5s for his toughs. But, yeah, getting a little bit of work here. Now, one of the mistakes that the Skorne player was making is that he does have a soul ward there at the bottom that he forgot to actually take in any souls into. So, a little bit of a mistake there. Otherwise, he has the Juggernaut go in. It doesn't really do any work. Again, I should say, just for clockwise, because you can't see it, that this is kind of a pretty long turn. He's going to have the other Juggernaut charge into Tiberian, land the hit. And it's going to do pretty good damage. And then it'll be pushed back as 3 from the Animus. And then the Spriggan's going to do the same thing. It got allocated 1 focus here, because you get the power boosted, and that's a gain ability. Butcher3 is going to come over here to the left. They are going to be failing their test because he's so scary, but it's not really going to matter because he's just going to kind of kill them all anyway. And in fact, he had a little bit of a mistake there because he got too close to Orin, so you want to do this whole flashing blade thing, but couldn't. So he made his first attack, missed, got pushed back. Oh, okay, now I'm out of range Orin Midwinter, and he can suddenly flashing blade again. By the way, the reason why the Jax didn't have any focus is because the Agonizer ran up and screamed at it, saying, "Oh, no focus for you." So, pretty nice ability. Otherwise, a little bit of Energizer movements there. And he's doing a tricky move here where you have a model that's already there and you charge the Spriggan in between them. And that means when he gets pushed back, he just goes up against into the Juggernaut. So he actually gets to make 2 attacks there, even though he missed his charge attack. And so Tiberian, he's actually already half dead. So feeling it already. Meanwhile, the Widowmaker's going to come up, and they're going to try and kill Orin, because they, you know, like I said, Orin Midwinter saying no magic, that's a massive deal for Butcher3. You can't Impending Doom, you can't, you know, Flashing Blade, you can't do any of that stuff you really want to do. So, but unfortunately for the Khador player, those all miss. Otherwise, a couple of attacks here from the pikemen. They're able to get 1 guy down. Hollow's not up because that's what he was wanting to cast when Orin Midwinter said no to him. And now we're going back here to the Skorne turn, and the Blood Trackers are going to do their thing. The... what's his name? I keep on looking. The Master Tormentor. There you go. He goes in, he kills a guy, and he sprints over. So really, a lot of the troops from the Khador player here are starting to disappear. But the number one thing he's going to need to do here is deal with these heavies and deal with them in a very careful way. It was kind of, you know, maybe some of the Keltari should have stayed back for this point here to be jamming some of the heavies. But Tiberian definitely needs to kill 1 of these jacks. If he could kill 2 jacks, that would be even better. Maybe some revives or something coming in from the Annihilators. You could try getting them down. When I first thought this would actually be really easy, I kind of forgot. I always figured that Annihilators were weapon masters, but they're not. So that's kind of a problem. So either way, the Drakes are still coming in. They're doing their thing and spraying away. He's going to have his Paingivers come up and pull off that Fury. And now this is where it's going to be Tiberian, and he's rolling some pretty hot damage. You know, he's rolling some really big hits, like the, you know, 555s and stuff like that. So he really damages these jacks. The Juggernaut's left on just a couple. That's he's leaving for the Annihilators to finish off. And the Spriggan's really messed up. Meanwhile, nothing to the top Juggernaut, but he's putting some models in the way, hoping just to keep the Juggernaut off of him so he can get his work done. Otherwise, a little bit of play here, trying to get the Spell Ward to zap Ragman, but that's not going to work. So now the Annihilators are going to charge in. Not getting as many charges on to the Juggernaut as he wished, and then really didn't roll any dice. Like I said, he only had like 3 or 2 boxes left, and they just were not able to finish it off. So now we're back to Khador turn 3, and this is where things should start turning around really quick. Again, now a bunch of sprays when the defense are lower. Tiberian can easily go down, and this could be really bad. Now, the only problem with doing all these sprays is it takes a lot of time, and for both of them, their clocks are getting down there, but for the Khador player especially, he's going to have to really start watching his time. So now he's rolling up against Tiberian, is able to kill Tiberian. That's the Spriggan there, but remember that's still just a proxy base. The other proxy base you're seeing there that's orange, that's the Drake. And it's going to attack now, and it's going to die 2. So all of a sudden now Mordikaar is down to just 1 Drake. And it actually turns out that what he's trying to do is actually go for scenario already. He was hoping to actually clear the zone. And maybe even destroy the objective as well. But things aren't really working out. He had some kind of bad rolls here. Butcher's going to come in the zone. He's going to pass over the turn. Because at this point here, he is really down on his time. I believe only like 2 minutes left. So now it's back to the Skorne turn. I mean, for me, I thought might as well just back up and wait for the turn to end, right? Just play defensively. But he wants to try and take off as many pieces as he can, get some initial damage onto Butcher. I mean, the last thing you want to do is actually play for the clock and then get screwed by it. So he's going to be doing that. He's also going to be trying to kill that last Juggernaut that's on the last couple of boxes. But still, dice are not going his way. So eventually here, he's going to be going with Mordikaar, and he's going to be putting Hollow back up. He's going to be raising up, I believe, 2 more models. And they're going to be charging in. I believe here this is where he's going to be killing Ragman, but again, just can't get it against this Juggernaut. So yeah, Ragman goes down. So there's something. A little bit late there. But now we're back to the Khador turn. He's going as fast as he can. Juggernaut actually dies to a free strike. He starts making attacks to try and clear things for Butcher. But it's too late. There's not enough time. And actually, Butcher loses to Clock. I was really surprised when I saw the matchup. I really thought it'd end up in assassination. You know, Butcher3, really great at that. Can kill a whole bunch of things. Seemed like they had the advantage against the Tiberian as well. But hey, you know, sometimes, I don't know if it's a new list or whatever, but Clock can get you. So that's what happens here. Hopefully you guys liked watching it, and we'll catch you again later. Bye.